Lepine hammering away. And down goes Yernick, a big win for Guillaume Lepine.
You were standing in the wake of devastation.
Look in front, it's Beauregard, it's up, it's in.
On the edge of the unknown.
Meanwhile, Lakovic will feed that across for Fox. Fox shoots and scores, Jordan Fox.
Raining down, insides crying, save me now.
Back to Nielsen, winds up, drives Nielsen just wide. It's still free and it's put in by Beauregard at the back post.
We always known that we had the team there.
Damish on a half chance, shoots, oh he hit the iron.
Kind of a turning point I think for us.
Free for Benedict.
That's a great save by Hirsch. Oh, wow.
I can see the smile on your face. The jigsaw pieces are falling into place, aren't they?
Gilt edge chance, and here's Farmer with another one. Farmer waiting, Farmer! Oh, yes!
Now it's 5-on-3, Guthrie's through the middle. Shea Guthrie shoots, score! Shea Guthrie with a beauty!
This power play ball is just opening them up. A shot from Fulgham! Yes! That's what they needed! Luke Fulgham goes upstairs!
He's still through, Fulgham! Oh, yes!
Put that one on the highlight reel, folks! That could be goal of the season! And that's it! The final buzzer goes, and a roar from the Sky Dome as the boys in white and blue have got 2 points against the Nottingham Panthers.
Hello everybody and welcome to the most optimistic roundtable yet. This week we talked to Blaze assistant Matty Soderstrom on little things producing big results.
Russ Cowley talks about his testimonial year and the big question, forward or defence?
Peter Hirsch on why he thinks last weekend was a turning point for this season.
And we look forward to a night of Halloween Havoc against the Cardiff Devils and the Sheffield Steelers. Hello everybody and welcome to the Coventry Blaze Roundtable. It's Tuesday evening. We've just finished watching The Chase and Paul has spent that time writing bad puns, and we apologise for the Halloween Havoc fiasco. Although I suppose you can link that to Brad Voth because he is rather scary. I suppose the Cardiff Devils organisation could kind of take advantage of that by making some masks for fans to wear. I think that's a good idea. I think the Blaze are doing something similar. But yeah, so today on the show, it's a happy one. I mean, we're all very happy in the camp. I mean, it's been a couple of weeks of turmoil while we've done the show. The Blaze haven't been doing so well. And, you know, then we hit the weekend and 2 big wins. A big shutout against the Belfast Giants in the Odyssey. And also a big win at the Sky Dome against the Nottingham Panthers. So, yeah, everything's good in this show. You know, we're going to look at what's going right and, try and really, because Tomo described it as almost a turning point in the season. And, you know, it's early days. I mean, we won 2 hockey games. So I think, you know, I'm a little bit sceptical about whether it is a turning point. I know Paul's like ever the optimist. And he's like, yes, God, this is the turning point. So we're kind of going to have a little friendly debate about that and have a little look at what Peter Hirsch, Matty Soderstrom and Russ Cowley have to say about that. So I'll pass you over to Wheels, and I'm sure he's going to lead us into the first segment with a lot more skill than he did with the Halloween Havoc alliteration.
Indeed, I apologise for the bad puns, everybody. Yep, I firmly believe that this weekend was a turning point. Certainly the Sky Dome on Sunday night was rocking in a way it hasn't for a good season and a half, the victory against the Nottingham Panthers. But don't just take my word for it. We spoke to Blade's assistant coach, Matty Soderstrom, and this was his reaction to the weekend's events.
So I'm here with Coventry Blaze assistant coach, Matty Soderstrom. Matt, Luke, a couple of weeks ago, was saying to us that the team was a jigsaw puzzle, and at the minute, the pieces weren't really together. Dustin Wood's come in. We've had a big winning weekend. I can see the smile on your face. The jigsaw pieces are falling into place, aren't they?
Yeah, it's starting now. I mean, we've looked at it for obviously bit of a rocky start, but I think we always known that we had the team there. It's just sort of getting everybody to do what we wanted them to do. All the lines are working really well now. Everybody's working hard for each other. The forwards are coming back hard to help out the D. The D is getting the puck up quick to the forwards. I think everybody's hitting a lot more than we've done before. So now it's a really enjoyable game to see.
What was the difference in the teams? What is the actual difference in our boys?
I think we've been working hard for weeks with the little things, and I think now when everything's starting to click together and the boys were really up for it. Because they're playing for each other, and we have great team spirit in that dressing room, and everybody really wanted to beat Nottingham. You know what I mean? Any time we played them, we always want to beat them. But I thought today, from start to finish, we dominated the game.
There was some pretty goals scored tonight as well, and presumably the guys enjoying playing with each other contributes to that as well.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, we know we got a few guys that are going to score more than others, but everybody chips in whatever they can. And obviously, you could see everybody on the bench. Soon as we scored a goal, everybody was jumping up and down, and that was great to see. And that's what you get with a team that's moving up now, and with great team spirit again, and everybody enjoys it.
One final question. Early in the season, we talked about how well Rob Farmer was coming out of the off-season. That kind of went a little bit where there was a focus on the team troubles and stuff, but he looked great tonight. That goal was also superb.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the best games I've ever seen Farmer play. You know, I mean, he worked hard all night. I mean, that whole line, second period, they put pressure in their end zone, and I think because they were sort of working so hard, and we managed to change 3 times, and we still kept them in there, and that's what they bring us. We know what we got on that third line, and they're really hard-working guys. They work hard for each other. They help each other out. And, Farmer had an awesome game.
So as you can see there, Matty, very happy indeed. Points out that the players have been working hard and little things produce big results. He particularly praises Rob Farmer. He says that Sunday night was possibly the best game you'd seen Rob Farmer play. Do you agree with him there, Ed?
Yeah, Farms has been great. I mean, early in the season, I was talking to Matty, and I think the question was something along the lines of, early in the season he was great. That hat-trick against Fife was, really good from him, and then he kind of plateaued a little bit and kind of petered out. But yeah, against Nottingham Panthers he was fantastic, and I didn't see him against Belfast, we weren't there, but his goal against Nottingham was a goal scorer's goal. It was a mature goal to score. You expect a Guthrie or a Fussy or a Fulgham to score that kind of goal. He moved laterally perfectly. I mean, he split the D, and when you've got players moving horizontally through the slot and in front of the crease, that's a nightmare for defences and goalies. But they're not always easy to score from. I mean, Farms was, he was being chased by the defenseman who was hacking his legs, and Kowalski was out to meet him, and he had to wait until Kowalski dropped and got to the point physically where he couldn't move sideways anymore and had to drop. Waited for that to happen, and then still managed to lift the puck over the diving net, mind. He did a fantastic job of scoring, and we play Farmer Bingo on the Blaze webcast where he gets punched in the face or gets checked, and we kind of have a little laugh and joke about that. But you know what? That's the kind of player that he is usually. He's the kind of player that winds players up, and he's a really good wind-up merchant. Tomo said that, I think the quote was something about him being an annoying little git for the other teams to play against, but that's fantastic for us. And every team needs one of those. Danny Stewart for the Blaze did a great job of that. And when you saw Danny score one of those goals, he used to skate around a lot and take the puck round every defenseman about 3 or 4 times in the zone before finally getting a shot on goal. And when he scored one of them, the place erupted. And when Farmer scored that goal as well, it was really good. And I mentioned Luke Fulgham and Owen Fussy in my analysis of that and the comparison. Fulgham had a big weekend. He had 3 goals on the weekend, and Guthrie had a good weekend too. He had a couple of goals. Fussy was great the week before, and it's Matty Soderstrom talks about the little things, and Tomo just juggled a couple of players around in the lines, and we saw that for a couple of weeks now with McLean moving to the wing on that line with Guthrie in the middle and Kral on the wing. On the top line of Greg Owen, who I think's got a really good 2-way game, and that really complements Fussy and Fulgham well. And just the little things like that, Matty Soderstrom is bang on with. And, another little thing, I mean, I suppose it isn't really a little thing, but just the changing of tempo in the defence and bringing in a defenseman, stay-at-home defenseman in Dustin Wood seems to have helped that as well. And, we talked to Russ Cowley as well. We asked him about his testimonial, probably just to break the ice, I think, really. But that's one not to miss because the golf day was awesome by all accounts. They had a lot of fun there. And that was good for the team spirit and team bonding. And, Matty talked about when the team scored, everyone was up on their feet and hanging out, and having a testimonial for Russ is great, not just for him because obviously you want to celebrate 10 years at any club that you spend, but he's having to do a big job this year because the defence was getting criticism, and he's almost a bit part defenseman because he's played as a forward. So we asked him what he preferred, and we asked him a little bit about bringing Dustin Wood in and whether that's a little thing or a big thing that's helped the team. So I'm here with Coventry Blaze defenseman Russ Cowley. Russ, firstly, it's your testimonial year this year. Tell us a bit about it. You've already had your golf day, I think.
Yeah, I've had my golf day. There was Dave Phillips. It went really well. Had a great time. All the boys had a good time. It was a good chance for us to get together and sort of, loosen up a little bit. And I think everyone else obviously enjoyed it, and they said to me that they enjoyed it. And well, the next event that I've got coming up is most likely the game, but I've obviously booked that for the 7th of Feb. I have put that out there. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the game, but I have got another event in the mix, which is pending, so I'll keep everyone informed on that one.
Cool. So it's been a massive weekend. It's suffice to say that the defence has held firm, only giving up 3 goals on the weekend. With Woody in the mix now, is this kind of steadying the ship?
Absolutely. I think before Woody came in, his presence is obviously huge. You know, someone of his caliber comes in, can give people confidence, whether it's at the back or up the front, or even goaltending wise. But I think with him coming in, it just seems like our chemistry's got a lot better. I think everyone's working for each other, and obviously, Woody himself, great D-man. We couldn't have obviously got a better player than him to fill the role that was open there. But yeah, I mean, it just seems to me that it's boosted everyone in terms of how hard we're working for each other and how hard we're working off the puck, which ultimately at the end of the day can make the difference. And I think that was the difference this weekend. So we just got to keep that going.
So last night in Belfast was obviously a good result, 3-0. But obviously you've got the bus, the plane, all the way over here. That's probably not the best preparation to have before you play the Nottingham Panthers. But you guys went out there, you looked 110% the whole shift. Was that really hard to dig deep, or is it the conditioning? And
if I were to be honest, yeah, I mean, you come off the plane, and I remember, we got back to the rink here before the Nottingham game, and, your body feels tired, but at the end of the day, it's mind over matter, and we all have to do the same thing, and it's a matter of telling yourself, you've got to go out there and empty the tank, you've got to play your game, bring your game, work as hard as you can, and there's no excuses at the end of the day.
Honest question, what do you prefer, forward or D?
D-man all the way, D-man all the way. I don't know. I guess Davey's answered it for me. I don't mind either or. I mean, it's great that I guess I can do a bit of both. And obviously, I'm obviously a lot more experienced as a forward, but I enjoy D. And I'll play wherever really. So.
Do you look to join the rush though as a forward and use that part of your game, or do you try and keep things steady at the back?
Sometimes it'll depend on the game, maybe as well. I'll just try and maybe make smart decisions. Like obviously, before this weekend, there was games where we were a bit up and down, so. I'll try and take care of things more defensively and worry about my job as a defenseman rather than jumping up. But I do like to jump up because obviously I can do that, and there's times where I will do that. And I think as the year goes on, I'll make sure obviously I'm jumping up in positions where I'm able to do so and not sort of being selfish, if that makes sense.
So there you go. Russ Cowley being very diplomatic when we asked him about what position he played. He basically said, "I'll play both." You thought that he said he'd prefer forward, but.
Well, Davey Phillips answered the question for him, so he put words in his mouth.
This is fair enough, but indeed, Russ Cowley clearly very excited about his testimonial, and I'm sure you'll find out all the events and stuff since then. He also talks about preferring to play wherever he'll play, and I think this is the difference with the team this weekend. We saw everybody doing the job that Tomo brought them in to do. One player that particularly did the job and did very well with a shutout in Belfast, and again on Sunday night against Nottingham was goalie Peter Hirsch, who is another player who's coming for a bit of stick from certain sections of the forums. They're probably eating their words, at least temporarily, with a nice side of humble pie. Peter Hirsch talked to us, and interestingly, he says that he thinks it could be the turning point in the Blazers season.
Pete, it's been a massive weekend for the team, and it's just what the doctor ordered, really, isn't it?
Absolutely true. To beat Belfast Giants and Nottingham Panthers in 2 days, that's really, really good result. So kind of a turning point, I think, for us, and very happy and just ready to move on now.
A shutout last night, and it was almost a battle of the goalies tonight because Kowalski had a very good game. Yourself played pretty well. Tomo was talking about the confidence in the camp, and we go through this quite a lot, but he was saying that yours was a little bit low last week. This week, after performances like that, you must be over the moon.
Yeah, I mean, I felt good yesterday, I felt good today, and but what the big point in this is the players in front of me, how they play and how they react, and they have been playing really, really good the last 2 games. So I think as a team, you defend, and that's really the big difference.
Well, that really brings us on to our kind of debate about whether it is a turning point in the season. I'd like to be all optimistic and all happy clappy about it, and I'm not taking away from the team what they did, and there's no doubting that a shutout against Belfast and a win against Nottingham on our own ice where we dominated the game. I don't think the scoreline was reflective of it. 4-3. Yeah, they played well. They played a good game, but Kowalski was the busier goalie, and Guthrie's goal I think epitomised what we did to that team because they didn't know who to cover. Guthrie's goal, he skated down the centre of the ice. Benedict didn't know whether he was going to dish it off or whether he was going to take it himself. He got all out of sorts, and then Corey Nielsen was kind of stood there gawping at his bench or something, and he was well out of position by the hash marks, letting Guthrie skate in and deke Kowalski. And when you're playing on the penalty kill, you can't let any guy skate through the middle, especially someone with the talent of Guthrie. So some massive positives, but it's 2 games. We're still in October. The season ends in March, April time. We've still got 3-4 months of hockey to be played, and we've not hit any big injuries yet. And a massive injury could really throw a spanner in the works. And there are so many hockey is a game of variables. We always talk about how a little bounce can change a game. A rebound or a broken stick. I mean, Barry Moore can testify for that. But I just think that this is a good weekend and it's something to build on, but I don't know whether it is the turning point or not because I just think there's so much hockey to be played. It's like we've been doing well in the league, no doubt about that, but we got hammered 10-1 against Nottingham before, and that's not something you can easily forget. I mean, we had a good game, we're playing good hockey. I just think maybe turning point is a little bit strong. I think it's something to build on, but I just don't know whether this is the pivotal moment, this is the turning point, because, I mean, Tomo said he wants to blood the young guys, but he doesn't trust them to take a lot of ice time at the minute. If this was a turning point in the season, he wants Matic Král to score more, he wants Mike McLean to score more, he wants Aaron Nell to score more. If all those guys were doing that, then he could probably give Griff and Ross some ice time, and then I think then that would be the real judge of a turning point because he can trust his younger guys to take the ice and do their thing. I mean, Matt Selby's not even been icing for them; he's not even been on the bench, and he was a guy that I thought looked pretty good in pre-season as well. So, I mean, argue with me. I know you've got your biting your lip for a few points that I made.
I agree with you. I don't think it's a turning point, and this is the point where everyone can turn around and say we're going to win the league now, but you can't deny that the Sky Dome on Sunday night was rocking in a way it hadn't been for a good season and a half, and the feel-good factor was back, and you could see the players were enjoying themselves. You can hear from the commentary on the montage at the beginning that Ed and I were certainly enjoying ourselves. I think that it's not so much the turning point in the way that I'll now say, fine, we'll go on and win the league, but we described it as sexy Thompson hockey on the webcast in a reference to the Corey Nielsen, sexy Nielsen hockey. That's the joke that's going around. It probably wasn't too much hyperbole to call it as that because, now this is a team that's playing the way it played against Cardiff in the pre-season. But I think, and this is where we move on to the next bit, that I agree with you in the sense it's only 2 games. And I think, this weekend we will see whether it was just a flash in the pan or whether it was something that the team can really start build on. They've got to build on because they've got Cardiff and Sheffield this weekend in the Halloween Havoc, and you're going to talk us through those 2 games.
They're 2 massive tests. I mean, the Cardiff Devils and the Coventry Blaze rivalry goes more than just, a couple of seasons of Brad Voth being around. You go back to the BNL days and, the Mike Ware days and that bench clearance up at the Sky Dome where he kicked the living you-know-what out of Graham Schlender and then got changed and was there in a tracksuit and then kicked the living you-know-what out of Graham Schlender again. It's, the Cardiff Devils and the Coventry Blaze flat out don't like each other. Tomo was a defenseman, Gerard Adams is a defenseman, and maybe that has something to do with it. And, Adams puts together a big physical team. And, he's got Brad Voth, he's got Phil Hill, Babrea, Chris Frank on defence is terrifying. If you're not going to buy a Brad Voth Halloween mask, buy a Chris Frank one, because that guy's a monster. And you know what? They're not just a one-dimensional goon hockey team. They've got guys that can play some sexy Adams hockey. They got guys like the Babrea he's a class act. And they've got guys like Jeff Pierce and Scott Dobbins, Scott Matzka. These are good players, and we look good against them in pre-season, then we looked poor against them back up at the Sky Dome, and we haven't seen the Sheffield Steelers yet at home. But their goalie, John DeCaro, by all accounts, is fantastic. I think he's second in goal against average and save percentage in the league, and they've got some good players. I mean, Finity is a great choice for coach for up in Sheffield. Him and Dave Sims can just wind the living what up out of people, and he can fire up a team. Because we wanted Finity, we had Finity in the team essentially, until he got offered that job, and Trump's for him for taking it because he's going to excel there. And they've got a big product to bring to the Sky Dome. And I think if we're talking about the turning point, I think if we can beat Cardiff and if we can beat the Steelers, then this really could be the turning point where we make a good run up to Christmas to try and push to put our names in the ring for winning the league. But the Steelers have only lost once this year in regular season. They lost one game. I mean, the Blazers have only lost a couple, but from talking to Tomo and talking to Simsy, where he would say it, they don't look like losing. They destroyed the Nottingham Panthers. They humiliated them, and we beat them. We dominated them, but it wasn't a humiliation. So this is two big blocks almost that are going to be meeting, and I just hope that the Coventry players can get a good result, even if we don't win, get a good result. Because if we get humiliated 10-1 on our own ice, then it's going to destroy everything that the results against Belfast and Nottingham and potentially against Cardiff have built.
So there we go. That's Edgy on the weekend. It is Sheffield at the Sky Dome this weekend, of course, for Halloween. Cardiff on the Saturday night. We will be there on the Sunday covering the webcast, and hopefully we are able to get as excited for this time round as we did for the Nottingham game. I'll be in fancy dress.
Oh, what are you going
is the plan? I'm thinking Van Helsing at the moment. I'm going to go for the old cowboy hat and cape and crossbow, shotgun, everything.
I don't trust you with any pointy weapons, Paul. I'm not going to lie. I think that's a bad idea. When you get excited, you'll pull the trigger, and there's already a hole in the Sky Dome wall from where someone else kicked it, and we don't need you adding to that.
Indeed, but we'll see. It is Halloween night on Sunday, or the Halloween game on Sunday, Halloween party against the Steelers. We'll be there for the webcast. We hope to see you all there too, rocking the rink as you all did against the Nottingham Panthers. But that's us done for this week's roundtable. So from me, Paul Wheeler.
And from me, Ed Kimberley.
It's thank you very much.